Hello, people! Welcome. Thank you all so much for showing up. I know I've been doing a lot of ranking/review videos as of late, but people seem to be enjoying them at least a little bit, and I definitely have been enjoying them, so I don't know. I'll switch it up after this one, don't worry. Anyways, in this video, I will be reviewing and ranking every one of the 62 biomes of Minecraft, including the overworld, nether, and the end, within their distinct categories. Categories being plains, woodlands, caves, mountains, swamps, sand areas, water areas, nether biomes, and the end biomes. I'll be ranking them within their own categories because there are a lot of them, and they're all vastly different, so I thought, for the sake of fairness, I would compare like and like. Anyways, yay, here we go, starting off with the plains category. There are 7 plains biomes here to rank. In number 7, we have the savanna biome. This biome is very dry and dead looking.
I got a Glock in my E.V.E.R.Y.
It is almost like a slightly less dead desert. Typically, the terrain in these biomes are very flat. They usually consist of large grass areas with scattered acacia trees. Sometimes this biome is found around badlands or deserts due to all those biomes having similar climates. Horses and llamas can be found here. Structures that can be found here include villages, strongholds, dungeons, and abandoned mine shafts. I find the colors in this biome very bleak and saddening, therefore I am not a huge fan because I like vibrancy. Sue me. Although the horses and llamas are kinda cool, I guess. In number 6, we have Ice Plains. This biome here is quite Christmassy. This biome is mainly flat, with some hills and very, very snowy. It has very few trees and resources, making it slightly tricky to start off in. Water freezes here as well. It is a fairly rare biome, being a blend of taiga and tundra. Structures that can be found here include dungeons, strongholds, and igloos. There are very few animals that spawn here, and in addition, farming is rather difficult due to the lack of accessible grass and water. So overall, I would avoid living in this area altogether. As a fun little fact, strays have an 80% chance to spawn instead of skeletons, and white-furred rabbits are exclusive to this biome. I think it is quite evident why this one is placed so low. It has very little draw and very little use otherwise, because of the challenges for survival. In number 5, we've got Snowy Plains. Snowy Plains are a biome awfully similar to the Ice Plains. They are biomes covered in snow and ice. No, really? All water found in this biome quickly turns to ice, so this biome is no good for farming. They are commonly found surrounded by other biomes like snowy beaches, snowy taigas, snowy slopes, and groves. Structures found here can include igloos, pillager outposts, and villages. There are also few animals found here, so again, it kinda sucks. All grass and such related objects take on a slightly blue-green color. Again, a big challenge for survival, but I like the villages that generate in these biomes, so a little higher rank. In number 4, we got Sunflower Plains. Sunflower Plains are a gorgeous biome that contain the lovely plant the sunflower, obviously. They are a mostly flat biome where several variations of flowers can be found. It is also the only biome where sunflowers generate naturally. Oak trees can be found here. Something interesting about this biome is that villages and outposts can generate in Bedrock Edition, but not Java, as of 1.21.5. These biomes are frequently surrounded by regular plains biomes and cherry groves. Horses and donkeys can be found in these biomes. I think these biomes are quite pretty, like flower fields, but exclusive to sunflowers. Something cool about the sunflower is it always faces east, so its flower faces the sun. In number 3, we got Ice Spikes, a biome I am always rather excited to see. This here biome is one similar to the Snowy Plains biome, minus that it has no grass and only snow, and it generates large structures made of ice which span sometimes to over 50 blocks tall. Lightning never strikes in these biomes, and no above-ground structures may generate besides the spikes due to the climate that ice spikes are found in. They are frequently bordered by biomes like frozen rivers, plains, snowy slopes, snowy beaches, stony shores, windswept gravity hills, and frozen oceans. To be honest, I'm not certain why I like this biome so much. It's kind of rare, and that's exciting, I guess. I really like the cold and winter. Plus, it's pretty cool. I mean, we're also used to seeing cool ice pillars. Pretty sick. Very pointy. Number 2, we got regular ass plains. Now this one here is awfully basic, but it's a classic. That's the largest reason it ranks so high. Every version of plains is derived from this biome right here, so bam! This is the original, the classic, the unbeatable. Plains are a very common biome, often bordering other plains biomes of varying types of forests. One might think of plains as sort of the default biome. Fun fact, plains typically make up about 11% of your overworld. Plains biomes are mostly flat and contain a few trees and flowers here and there. Horses as well as donkeys can spawn. Structures that can be found here include outposts and villages. That's about it, to be honest. There isn't much remarkable about this one. In numero uno, we got a biome which I was surprised fits into this category, the mushroom field biome. This guy here at one point was the rarest biome in the game until others were added as of more recent updates. It is a very special biome because it is the only one where a mob called the mushroom is found, as well as a block called mycelium, and hostile mobs do not spawn. They are quite seldom found, as I myself have only found 2 of them in my entire 8-year Minecraft career, which honestly is a me problem, but shush, whatever. In this biome, one will find, in lieu of trees, there are gigantic mushrooms that grow in their place. The water in this biome is a rather deep blue color in Java or a gray color in Bedrock, and overall it is just incredibly unique. A fun fact about the mushroom is if you milk them with a bowl in hand, they give you mushroom soup. Pretty cool if you ask me. The player cannot spawn here, but you can spawn close-ish to them, but it is difficult as they are typically located in the middle of cold oceans on an island. If lightning strikes a mushroom, it will change color from brown to red or red to brown. Moving on from plains, next up we got 15 woodlands to rank, starting with... Number 15 is a little bit obvious if you saw my wood ranking video. In last place, we got the birch forest. This one I have a mega bias against, but come on, millions of other players do too, you can't blame me. Birch trees are ugly, and hence so are birch forests. Birch forests are forests which contain birch trees and typically border other types of forests like regular forests, dark forests, jungles, and taigas. Due to high humidity, lush caves may spawn beneath birch forests. Birch forests are slightly rarer than other forests, thankfully, and unlike other forest biomes, they also do not have wolves or oak trees because they gotta be different. They do contain pretty flowers, though. Before I get too carried away, in number 14 we got, take a guess, old growth birch. Now I know fully that I'm being petty right now, but oh well, leave me alone. Old growth birch forests are quite similar to regular birch forests except for the fact that half the trees within this biome are much, much taller, and also exclusive to this biome as they cannot be grown with a sapling. They rank higher than the regular birch because it is slightly cooler since it's a little rarer. Looking back though, it should probably be in last since it contains more of the dreaded birch wood. Due to the tall trees, unfortunately. Yuck. These biomes are often bordered by pretty much every other biome, and you may also find pretty flowers here, however, like new growth, no doggies. And number 13, we got snowy taiga. This biome was rather rare, and the terrain was sorta hilly and full of spruce trees, which are a tree variant I am rather fond of. This biome was a little tricky to survive in on account of all the hills and cold temperatures. Despite all those temperatures, rivers found in this biome did not turn to ice. In this biome, you could find wolves, rabbits, and snowy foxes. In number 12, we got sparse jungle. By this biome's name, you can tell that it isn't very noteworthy. This biome is literally just a jungle but with less trees. Oak trees, jungle trees, and mountains can be found here as well as cocoa beans. No structures are found here, and the grass is a vibrant green but slightly less vibrant than the regular jungle grass. You can possibly find parrots and pandas in this biome, but only in bedrock. Due to the humidity, lush caves have a possibility to spawn beneath these biomes. Now, I don't love jungles, but on occasion they are useful, and at one point they were the only source of cats, so oh well. Certainly not the best biome, especially with sparse right in the name, but whatever. In number 11, we got the regular jungle biome. These non-sparse biomes are like sparse jungles but chock full of plants and trees, so often they are tricky to navigate and traverse. Melons, which are exclusive to this biome, generate frequently, as well as cacao pods. The adorable mob, the parrot, panda, and ocelot are also exclusively found here. Again, due to the humidity, lush caves are frequently found here. Structures that can be found here include trial ruins as well as jungle pyramids, which are kinda cool. I'm not a huge fan of difficult terrain, and jungles are notorious for being very, very, very hard to get around. Also, I know this is petty again, but the wood is ugly. I do find jungles a bit cool with all the exclusive mobs and such, so it gets more of a mid-range ranking. In number 10, we got the Bamboo Jungle. The Bamboo Jungle is exactly what it sounds like. It is a jungle that consists of large quantities of tall bamboo, making a suitable environment for pandas. Bushes, oak trees, and jungle trees are not found as commonly in this type of jungle. Cacao beans are not found here since they may only be planted on jungle wood. Every mob exclusive to jungles may be found here, and pandas have more chance to spawn here because of all the bamboo. Yum. Jungle pyramids may be found here in Java Edition. Due to excessive humidity, lush caves are likely, very, very likely, to spawn beneath bamboo jungles. As the wiki said, it is almost guaranteed. I like this slightly more than the regular jungles because of pandas and the fact that they're slightly, and I mean slightly, easier to traverse. My bad. But even so, they're definitely not a favorite, so they get a mid-range ranking. Number 9. We got forest. Just plain forest. This biome right here is the most common one in the game, making up 12% of the generated world. That is a lot. The forest biome is sort of a classic. I mean, you spawn in and bam, forest everywhere. Even the Minecraft logos like on Xbox and whatnot take place in forest. It's just kind of the default, you feel me? Forests are biomes full of short oak trees and birch trees where you can find wolves and some different types of flowers. These biomes are great for survival because you spawn in a location full of animal life and tons of resources like wood for building houses. Forests are pretty flat with some hills. Anyway, forests are pretty decent, not the greatest woodland, but it's kind of an OG for bonus points for that. Also doggies. Even though I am a cat person, one can appreciate the access of dogs, no? In number 8, we got dark forests. Dark forests are incredibly dense forests that consist of dark oak trees, regular oak trees, birch, and large mushrooms like the ones found in Mushroom Plains. The density of the trees in this biome make it a perfect environment for hostile mobs as the leaves block the sun, so typically this biome is quite dark beneath the canopy of leaves. Wolves nor bees' nests are found here. Something cool about dark oak forests is very rare structure known as the Woodland Mansion is found here. This is the only biome where that structure can be found. The Woodland Mansion contains variations of illagers and treasures which are very sought after by the player. Again, due to humidity of this biome, lush caves are incredibly common to find underneath the ground. Dark forests can be bordered by birch forest, old growth taiga, or jungles because all those have similar climates. Surviving in this biome is slightly harder than other forests because of the persistent darkness and hostile creatures lurking in the trees, but there are plenty of resources like logs and food. A funny little feature I found about this forest is that the identifier in Java is dark_forest, but in Bedrock it is roofed_forest. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. Anyway, this biome is a little annoying to traverse on the ground. A lot like jungles, but you can always just walk on the leaves. I like the wood that is found here quite a bit since it goes well with many different types of blocks. Besides all that, I like the fairy forest vibes this one gives with the big mushrooms and trees. It's kind of a cool feature. I don't know. Might just be me, but whatever. In number 7, we got the Pale Garden biome. This one is a fairly recent addition to the game. It is an incredibly rare biome, and it looks really cool. They are typically found next to dark oak forests. The trees are a lot similar to dark oak trees in the way that they grow, but the wood is more of a gray color. These forests contain pale oak trees, as previously discussed, pale moss carpets, pale moss blocks, a new block called the Creaking Heart, which at night spawns a mob called the Creaking, a flower called an eye blossom, and a pale hanging moss. Walking into this biome, all water and the color of the sky becomes a more grayed color. This biome is newly the rarest biome in the game. In the upcoming 1.21.5 update, woodland mansions will also be able to spawn in this biome. While in this biome, no music plays. When the player exits, the music will resume. But all that adds to an unsettling, creepy ambience that I don't like. This biome is difficult to survive within due to no peaceful mobs spawning naturally and the dense leaves, making a pleasant environment for hostile mobs as well as the new guy, the creaking. Pretty much every block in Pale Gardens is very desaturated, grayish color. I do quite like it though. I like the color of the wood planks because I think the white adds a lot of potential to Minecraft builds, but it is definitely not my favorite biome because it is really creepy. It's still really cool though. In number 6, we got the flower forest biome. Flower forests consist of birch as well as mostly oak trees and a lot of pretty flowers. They are a bit rarer than regular forests and are often bordered by plains and meadows as well, as separated from sunflower plains by rivers. A large variety of flowers are found in these biomes, and bees' nests are 10 times more likely to be found here, which makes sense because of all the flowers. Rabbits can be found here. Flower forests I find a rather peaceful biome to be in. The flowers give a nice sense of calm and it adds a lot of pretty colors to your Minecraft experience. I would say this is a very good biome to place your base because of the ease of resources like food, farming, and wood. It's a pretty sweet and wholesome biome. In number 5, we got the Grove biome. Awfully descriptive there, ain't it? Grove, what a name. This biome is one that typically generates on the side of a mountain or near the base. Usually they are compiled of spruce trees and are full of snow. A block called powder snow can be found here. With that block, there's an achievement called Light as a Rabbit. You get it by walking on snow without sinking on it by wearing leather boots. This type of snow is rather annoying, but I won't get into that. Rabbits, snowy foxes, and wolves can be found here. Structures that generate include pillager outposts, and that's it. I quite enjoy snowy biomes, minus the fact that you can die in all the powdered snow. It's a pretty beautiful biome. Quite nice to come across. In number 4, we got taiga. Taiga biomes are a bit bleak, but they contain my favorite old wood type spruce. Taiga biomes contain no snow, but you can find that they are a bit cold. They're a bit flat and sometimes hilly, and they contain much greenery like ferns and tall grass, dandelions, and berry bushes. Red foxes are also found here and they tend to enjoy the berries. At a certain Y level, all rain in this biome changes to snowfall. Structures that can be found here include occasional trial ruins, taiga villages, and outposts. Taiga biomes are sometimes surrounded by old-growth taigas, regular forests, birch forests, snowy taiga swamps, plains, and groves, or separated from meadows by rivers or oceans. The foxes found here are rather cute, and I do enjoy them and the berry bushes. I find myself putting my base in these biomes frequently due to the ease of resources and food like the berries and livestock, as well as my favorite wood type, spruce. In the top 3, we got old growth pine taiga. Old growth pine taigas are awfully similar to taigas, but the trees found here are huge. Like screw old birch. These trees are hella big. I'm talking almost as big as jungle trees. These guys yet again have high humidity, so lush caves are incredibly common to find below. And due to similar climate, biomes like groves, taigas, dark forest, windswept forest, and swamps are common to be found around them. Old growth taigas can be found around pale gardens and snowy taigas, but only at high altitudes. A lot of grass is replaced by podzol and coarse dirt in this biome. Oftentimes this biome is split by rivers with old growth spruce taigas across from them. Due to the climate being chilly, at a certain elevation any rain will turn to snow, as well as wolves, rabbits, and red foxes are found here. Structures that may generate include trial ruins, and that is it. I think that the tall trees in this biome are really quite interesting. The tall ones are all 2x2 and grow with leaves in a sort of point. I like the age being a factor in certain biomes. I find that really cool, and I think it adds some sort of story to the game. In number 2, Blue 42. I need to shut up. Number 2, we got Old Growth Spruce Taiga. This biome here is very similar to the last one, but the trees are shaped differently. They are in more of a pine tree shape, ironically, with leaves spanning from the trunk up in an elongated point, where the last one was sort of a stubby short point. Pretty much ditto what I wrote back there. They all got the same stuff like berry bushes, foxes, rabbits. I don't have a whole lot different to say about this biome. I do like the trees better than the old growth pine, but Whoa, pretty trees. Number 1, we got Cherry Grove. Now you can probably guess why I have this at first, but anyway, we persist. This biome typically has decently flat terrain with gorgeous cherry trees. Often this biome generates at the base of mountains but can also generate on plateaus. This biome is full of grass and pink petals, pink leaves, pink wood, and purple logs. It is just so dreamy. I am a huge fan of this biome. The only structure that can spawn here is outposts, weirdly, but can you imagine if they added cherry villagers? Oh my god, that would be the best addition ever. It gets first place because it is beautiful. Alrighty, folks. Next up, we got cave biomes. There are 3 distinct cave biomes that I got here, and I am excluding the neutral basic cave since it isn't really counted as a biome. Anyway, number 3. In last place, we got the biome, the Deep Dark. Now, before I begin, please keep in mind the Deep Dark being in last place does not mean it is not cool, because it really is. I just have it there because it's horrifying. The Deep Dark is a cave biome that spawns very low in caves, usually generates between areas with low erosion value within the deep slate layer. The Deep Dark consists of blocks like Skulk and Skulk-related blocks like Skulk sensors, etc. The unique mob, the Warden, is also found within this biome. It is summoned by Noise Made. It is incredibly difficult to see in this biome because there is very little glow legend, and the main enemy found here is blind, so there isn't much use of sight and light to the native creature population. Hostile mobs like zombies and such do not spawn here, despite the darkness. Structures that spawn here in this biome include strongholds, ancient cities, dungeons, and I don't know if it counts, but amethyst geodes can be found here. Again, I have ranked this one last because it terrifies me, and I like being able to see without the threat of being launched into a wall by a warden. In number 2, we got Dripstone Caves. This one is slightly less sparkly than the last one, as it just consists of pointed dripstone blocks, and stone. These caves are typically found far inland, opposite to lush caves. This biome kind of just looks like a regular cave, but it has stalagmites and stalactites with little pools of water scattered about. When biomes like dark forests, oak growth taigas, bamboo jungles, wooded badlands, and taigas generate really far inland, instead of lush caves, dripstone caves will generate. Structures that can be found here in this biome include mineshaft strongholds, dungeons, trial chambers, and amethyst geodes. I don't love this biome. I'm kind of neutral on it. It definitely is not the prettiest biome to exist, but whatever. It gets the middleest rank I can give out. In number 1, we got, take a guess, lush caves. This biome can be found beneath very humid biomes under azalea trees. They have very interesting plant life and animals which can be found nowhere else in your world. In lush caves, you can find gorgeous moss, clay vines, grass, drip leaves, cave vines, glowberries, and spore blossoms, with a whole bunch of other cool things. In these caves, you can find things like mini lakes full of tropical fish and axolotls, as well as glow squids. I really do love this biome. I think it is a really beautiful opposite to dripstone caves, being rather bare and empty and hostile. The plants and mobs found in this biome almost make it feel like you're not in a cave at all, but in a beautiful mystical landscape. It is super awesome. On to the mountains category. Here we got 11 different mountain biomes to rank, starting with number 11, we have Jagged Peaks. Jagged Peaks are a biome that contains very pointy mountains, look to me very hard to traverse, which is a great factor in why it ranks dead last. These biomes are very cold, contain no grass, and are composed of solely stone, snow, and ice, as well as different ores. The only structure that generates here are outposts. Good luck, guys. Goats are the only mob that spawn here, and they generate next to most plains, sunflower plains, flower forests, most forests, birch forest, dark forest taigas, old growth taigas, snowy plains, ice spikes, and snowy taigas, so a very broad biome with many possible neighbors. In number 10, we got Savannah Plateau. Savanna plateaus are found when a savanna biome generates atop a plateau or perched atop a stony mountain. Then boom, pointy savanna biome. It has a low erosion value, and because of that, the terrifying deep dark may be found below. Savanna plateaus are basically the same thing as savanna biomes, just with raised terrain. They have acacia trees, oak trees, dry climate, llamas, horses, and wolves, as well as the mob armadillos. This biome does not have any appetizing look to it. It is very dry and bleak due to its climate being hot and dry. It is not in my book of favorites. I just don't like it. Number 9, we got Stony Shores. Stony Shores are a pretty lame biome, to be honest. It is a variant of the beach biome, but instead of sand, it is made entirely of rock and gravel. They usually have a pretty steep drop into a body of water, and they're usually on the side of stony shores, and that's about it. Buried treasure can be found, but only in Bedrock Edition. It's pretty much just used to replace sand and mountainous terrain, so it's kind of boring. And it's very gray, so not very aesthetic. And there's not a whole lot of resources to be found besides, just stone. So, not very cool. Hence why it has gotten 9th place. In number 8, we got Windswept Gravelly Hills. Windswept Gravelly Hills used to be known as Extreme Hills M, but it is no longer known as that. It is the second rarest biome after Pale Gardens. It contains larger amounts of gravel, not that much dirt, small patches of grass, because there isn't much plant life for trees, so there aren't really that many resources at all. Because of the gravel it is found, it is quite dangerous because on occasion that gravel will fall when broken, like a big pit. Because it is a cold biome at a certain elevation, rain becomes snow and water becomes ice. On the surface, occasionally coal and iron can be found. Because of cooler temps and similar climate, often gravelly hills are found next to plains, snowy plains, ice spikes, and snowy taigas. Llamas can be found here. This biome is rather plain and void of anything cool, so I wouldn't rank it very highly. It is kind of cool because it's rare, but besides that, there isn't really much to it to make it noteworthy, since it's literally empty and gravel. But thinking back, I think most of my bases have been in windswept gravelly hills. Number 7 is Windswept Hills. This biome is rather similar to the last, however it has less gravel. This terrain is usually pretty flat, but sometimes a little bit hilly, sometimes a little bit separated into chunks, I guess. They typically generate about Y level 140. At a certain elevation, like the last, rainfall changes to snow, and the hills that are occasionally found become snow-topped, and water freezes into ice. Deep dark does not generate under these biomes. In this biome and the last, the grass and the water is a more bluish color, which I find unique. Llamas can also spawn here. Oak trees as well as spruce trees can be found. This biome is rather uneventful. There are not a whole lot of available resources, but they are not the worst biome besides the elevation, which poses a fall risk. I do kind of enjoy putting bases in these biomes due to the fact that they are flat. Well, mostly flat. And they have uniquely generated terrain. In number 6, we got Stony Peaks. This biome is mountainous terrain, which is a variation of jagged and frozen peaks. They have a less cold climate and are found in warmer environments next to biomes like savannas, some forests, some plains, and jungles. Instead of colder variations like savanna plateaus, forests, and jungles, they have a less cold climate and are found in warm environments next to biomes like savannas, some forests, some plains, and jungles. Instead of colder variations, biomes like savannas, plateaus, forests, and jungles generate surrounding the mountains. Typically, this biome consists of many stone and rock types with some external ores. Weirdly, this biome is the third rarest in the game. You wouldn't think that these biomes, which literally have no identifying or interesting features, would be so rare. There are no peaceful mobs that spawn here. This biome is yet again difficult to traverse, and if you tried, you'd probably sweat your balls off because of the climate, so negative points for hot and requiring physical exertion. The only structure which generates here is outposts. In number 5, we got Frozen Peaks. This one, despite being hard to traverse, gets a few more points for no ball sweat and coolness, because it does look awesome, let's be real. This guy gets more points as well because it is less steep and pointy than jagged peaks. It is a biome almost identical, minus that it is a little less sharp. It consists of icy mountain tops with lots of snow and stone. Not a whole lot else of note. It is really cold here. This guy can generate next to other biomes like some plains, non-flower plains, flower forests, moss forest, birch forest, dark forest, taigas, old growth taigas, snowy plains, ice spikes, and snowy taigas. Goats may spawn here. Also outposts. In 4, we got windswept savanna. Now this may come as a surprise because number 1, it is a hot climate, and in addition it has acacia trees which are incredibly ugly, but listen. The world generation is really freaking cool here. It almost looks like the Farlands or Bug World Generation, but it isn't. It's just built different. This biome is a rare version of savanna and has very high erosion. It consists of very, very large mountains that look like they are blocked straight into the sky. They're built like pillars. Often they include floating islands as well as waterfalls and lava falls due to the strange generation. This climate is warm, so it is typically found around biomes like other savannas or extreme biomes. Deep dark may not spawn here beneath this biome. Armadillos, horses, and donkeys can be found in this biome. Good luck, guys, don't fall. Now, evidently, this biome is not great for survival due to the extreme generation and very little access to resources. But whatever, I like it because it's cool. Despite how shallow that opinion is, I don't care. It looks good. Top 3. In 3rd, we got snowy slopes. The snowy slopes biome, to me, are just beautiful. It looks a rather lot like the biome Grove. However, no trees may be generated here, making living here a little bit difficult, but whatever. It is full of beautiful white snow and hilly terrain that makes it very winter wonderland-esque. In this biome, it is mainly just snow and stone, and some structures like igloos and outposts. Animals like goats and rabbits can be found here. Now, if you get past the looks of this biome and have realized that it is effectively useless, congratulations. Alas, I have not, and I love it. Moving on. In 2, we got windswept forest. Now, the generation of this one perplexes me a little bit. It is flat in some parts, but generates mostly on mountainous terrain. Occasionally, they include floating islands, which is a little bit cool. Dandelions as well as poppies are the only flowers which generate in this biome. Iron and coal can be found at surface level here. This biome generates in place of windswept hills in areas where it is more humid, hence lush caves may be found beneath as well. Other biomes like taigas, snowy taigas, dark forest, windswept hills, old-growth pine taigas, old-growth spruce taigas, swamps, forest, birch forest, and old-growth birch forest often border windswept forests with rare bordering biomes being jungles, sparse jungles, bamboo jungles, and plains. Llamas can be found here. In numero uno, we got a meadow. This one is a rather flat biome that counts as a type of mountain, as it generates at high elevations. Many different types of flowers can be found here, and on the rare occasion where a tree generates, it has a guaranteed chance of having a bee's nest attached to it. Villages as well as outposts can be found in this biome. Typically, this biome will be found around forests or regular taigas by rivers. Rabbits and donkeys can be found here. I see this biome as a very low-key and gentle biome with its lovely plant life. I quite enjoy the vibes here. Also, I mentioned this in my ranking of every disc, but with meadows, there's an achievement for playing any song in a jukebox within the biome. Alrighty, folks, we are on to swamps, in which there are only 2, so this is a quick one. In last place, we got the regular schmegular swamp. This biome is very grungy and dirty looking, with the water and trees being a brownish color. Swamps are full of oak trees, which have the possibility to grow in the scattered shallow waters or on land. Vines as well as mushrooms are very commonly found here, as well as blue orchids, which are exclusive to swamps. Across the shallow water, you may find lily pads. A very interesting and rare feature is that both swamps can generate fossils. Swamps are technically a cold biome, and that I find weird. Structures found here include witch huts. Also, frogs can be found here. Ribbit. In number 1, we got mangrove swamps, which are infinitely cooler than regular swamps. Mangrove swamps contain the beautiful mangrove wood, which is like the best color of red ever seen before in the history of man. Just saying. This biome is one full of mud and mucky water, so not a whole lot different from the other swamp by aesthetics. Lots of lily pads and such. All coloring is the same, but mangrove leaves don't have that ugly-ass brown. They're actually green. Frogs and tropical fish can be found here. So basically, all swamps are ugly, but this one has mangrove trees instead of oak, so it's way better. Alright, that's the end of the swamp category. Here we commence with sandy areas. There are 6 sandy areas to rank. Get ready. Number 6, we got wooded badlands. This one is a badlands variation with higher humidity, and at higher altitudes it generates little mini forests of oak trees. All grass and plant life here, like dead bushes, trees, grass, has a dull brown color, so it creates large opposition to the vibrant red to the to the vibrant red sand found elsewhere throughout this area. This biome is one that is quite rare since the Badlands biome does not contain many resources for survival. This biome contains blocks like coarse dirt, variations of terracotta, red sand, and sandstone, cactuses, kind of deserty blocks, but colorful. Armadillos can be found roaming around this area. In opposition to the regular Badlands, due to humidity, lush caves have a high chance to spawn underneath here. Structures found here include abandoned mineshafts and ruined portals. The lovely red and orange tones have a rather nice look to them in my opinion. I find Badlands to be one of the biomes I stumble upon rather infrequently, so I rather like to stop and explore whenever I do. I like them a lot, however the wooded version I believe to be not so pretty, as the trees and bushes look very dead and yuck, so boo. Begone foul brown tones. In number 5, we have desert. This biome here is one that comes with a lot of sand. No, really? And no rain. There really isn't much of note here. High erosion, generally flat terrain, lots and lots of sand and sandstone. Deep dark does not generate here. They can be found around other biomes like badlands, mangrove swamps, and stony shores. Weirdly, something I found is deserts can generate at any humidity, but you would think that would be dry, no? Strange. Anyway, as always, if they generate at high humidity, a lush cave will spawn. Yay! Deserts have no trees. Very, very few resources to be found besides cactuses. Mobs like rabbits as well as the camel can be found roaming around. Deserts have quite a few structures that may be generated here, like desert temples, villages, outposts, desert wells, and very rarely fossils. Deserts, thankfully, are not a very common biome. They are rather empty and beige, so they definitely get negative points for that. However, the neat structures they found do make up for the emptiness in a little way. In number 4, we have Snowy Beach. Snowy beaches are beaches found in cold climates. They are exactly what they sound like, and they can be found around colder, snowy biomes. Water around these freeze, so sometimes they're found around frozen oceans. Turtles cannot be found here. Structures that can be found include shipwrecks and occasionally buried treasure. Honestly, there isn't a whole lot to discuss here, but I like beaches and snow, so wham, I guess. Number 3 is the regular beach biome. This biome is one usually used as a buffer between other biomes and the ocean. There are few resources found directly on this terrain, but usually around it there are many, like forests and such. You may find turtles here. Buried treasure and shipwrecks can be found. Occasionally they border rivers. Again, there isn't a whole lot to know about this biome, but it is nice to have as it looks nice as a buffer between ocean and land. Good job, buddy. In numero 2, we got Badlands. This biome also goes by the name Mesa. It includes many types of terracotta, red sand, and sandstone, dead bushes, and cacti. It is a rather vibrant landscape that I quite like. This biome is typically found around deserts and savannas, savanna plateaus, forests, plains, and jungles. Due to low-ish erosion, deep dark does indeed spawn under here sometimes. This biome does not get any rain. That's kind of cool. Structures like abandoned mineshafts and ruined portals can be found here. Armadillos can also be found. I really like all the pretty colors found here, despite not liking orange. One must admit, it does have its place. Yes, it is dry, but it is so much cooler than the beige, nasty, yucky desert. In number 1, we got eroded badlands for similar reasons to windswept savanna. This biome is a badlands biome, but it has massive spikes of terracotta instead of large hills, and mountains known as hoodoos. Another name for this biome is Bryce Canyon Mesa. It was known by that name due to its similarities to the real-life canyon in the United States, Bryce Canyon. Armadillos can be found here. The deep dark may be found, but never lush caves. Structures like abandoned mineshafts and ruined portals can be found. I like this one so much because I think that the terrain generation is incredibly cool looking, and I also love the real-life connections there. I think it's incredibly interesting. I think the tall hoodoos add incredibly cool detail to otherwise basic terrain. Next up, the finale for overworld biomes, we have water areas. And then we move on to biomes in the nether and the end. We have 8 distinct watery biomes to rank. Starting with number 8, we got river. This biome is one that is quite common. It is usually used as a buffer between some biomes. They are little bodies of water that span long distances lengthwise, and occasionally they run into higher terrain and stop abruptly. Sometimes rivers can spawn as lakes or giant loops. Salmon and squid can spawn here. Oh, speaking of, I found a baby squid the other day. Anyway, enough of that. Rivers are useful things, but not too terribly interesting. They do contain a few valuable resources like sand and clay, but that's about it. Not much here, so you know. In number 7, we got frozen ocean. Frozen oceans are oceans which have been frozen due to freezing temperatures. They are frequently found next to snowy plains, ice spikes, and snowy taigas. The top of the ocean is nearly all frozen, and there are no plants on the sea floor, meaning there are no resources besides ice to be found here. Polar bears, salmon, and squid can be found here, as well as structures like ocean ruins, shipwrecks, and mine shafts and trial chambers. This biome, being basically barren, has little use to me, and the fact that it isn't even completely frozen over means you can't even zoom around in a boat. Boo! Minus points. Number 6, we have frozen river. In cooler regions like snowy taigas and such, frozen rivers replace regular rivers due to the cold climate. The rivers ice over. Underwater plants do not generate here. Salmon and squid can be found. This biome ranks a little higher due to the fact that because it is completely frozen over, you can zoom around in a boat and not get stuck in a melted hole. More fun. In number 5, we've got cold ocean. Cold oceans have deep, dark blue waters and are found in colder climates like variations of taigas, however, are not frozen over. It does generate underwater plants, but less than normal oceans. Cod, salmon, and squid can be found here. Structures that may generate include shipwrecks, trial ruins, ocean ruins, and mine shafts. This body of water is not too eventful, but it does have lots of potential structures that I find rather cool. Really, there isn't much to say about water areas in general. They're water. Yeah. In number 4, we got deep ocean. Now this one here does indeed have a bit more going on. This guy can have a depth of over 30 blocks, which is twice as deep as some shallower oceans. It has lots of plant life and tons of structures like dry ruins, ocean ruins, shipwrecks, mine shafts, and the infamous ocean monument, which means that as you venture throughout this ocean biome, you have a chance to slay the sponge man. Not SpongeBob. Underwater trenches can be found quite frequently in this biome. Mobs like dolphins, cod, and squid can be found. Deep oceans are a little bit creepy to me, but whatever, we ball. Lots of structures and treasures and mobs and plants, and holy moly. Cool biome. In number 3, we've got ocean. Just ocean. Oceans are a slightly less scary version of deep oceans. They are not as deep. There is a little bit of plant life. Honestly, there isn't much to know about this. It's just an ocean. The seafloor of all these biomes include gravel and sand, and the terrain is hilly. Besides that, whatever. It's a big body of water. Structures include all the ones that can be found in the deep variant, like trial ruins, ocean ruins, shipwrecks, mine shafts, and yet again, the infamous ocean monument. Mobs include cod, dolphin, and squid. Speaking of basic oceans, there is an achievement for visiting all the ocean biomes called Sail the Seven Seas. In number 2, we have lukewarm ocean. Lukewarm oceans have a lighter blue color of water and have more sand than gravel as the base of the floor. It is commonly found around warmer biomes like jungles and savannas. In addition, it has more vegetation than the cold oceans do. Mobs found here include tropical fish, pufferfish, cod, dolphins, and squid. Structures include shipwrecks, ocean ruins, trial ruins, and mine shafts. The diversity and aquatic life here is a very pleasant experience. I really love all the variants of fish here, and I like that you can actually see through the water since it is lighter. In numero uno, number 1, we got my absolute favorite ocean variant, the warm ocean. This biome here is so sick. The water is a beautiful light blue with a greenish tone. It generates frequently next to biomes like deserts and badlands, and similar to the desert, it has a base made majorly of sand. Throughout this ocean full of color, there are numerous different colors of coral to be found, alongside seagrass and sea pickles, which add a glorious touch of light. With all that, you will also see squid, dolphin, pufferfish, and dozens of beautiful tropical fish. Structures found here include trial chambers, shipwrecks, ocean ruins, and mine shafts. This biome really makes the ocean feel alive. It is so full of color, it puts every other ocean variant to shame.
Shame. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. Shame on you.
With their dull blues. This biome includes a whole rainbow of different hues, and that makes it superior to all others. Yeah. Moving on, we have left the overworld, and we are now into the nether biomes. The nether is not a biome which I am an overly large fan. Pre-nether update, it genuinely upset me going there because the nether looked like I don't even know what, but whatever. We got 5 biomes to rank. Starting with number 5, we have the nether wastes, also known as hell. This biome is one that does not attract many eyes. This biome is by far the most common and makes up about 36% of the nether typically. Often the nether wastes separate different biomes, like it always must separate basalt deltas or warped forest and soul sand valleys, since those are biomes which may never generate next to one another. This biome is one with very few available resources since it is composed of mainly humongous lava lakes and netherrack with glowstone lighting up the ceiling. Mobs that spawn here are basically all nether mobs and striders. Structures that spawn in this biome include bastion remnants, nether fortresses, and ruin portals. This biome is my least favorite of the nether biomes because it is just so void of anything really interesting. And for the longest time, it was the only available biome for the nether. The nether was just nether wastes. Can you imagine? Ew. In number 4, we have the Soul Sand Valley. This sky can generate next to any biome except warped forests. This biome is full of soul sand and soul soil, and a unique type of fire which burns blue called soul fire. This biome also has very little resources. You can find things like mushrooms and fossils sometimes, but besides that, that's kinda it. Striders spawn here, so do structures like nether fortresses, nether fossils, bastion remnants, and ruin portals. This biome is very brown and also lacks much color, but does have pretty cool blue fire, so I'll let it pass. In number 3, we got basalt deltas. This biome is also one which includes many little lava lakes and rivers, but it includes blocks I use frequently like blackstone, which are found in pillars found around shallow lava pools. This biome may generate beside any biome minus crimson forests. There aren't many resources here, however you can find mushrooms again. Structures may include nether fortresses, ruin portals, mobs can include striders, and my mortal enemy, the magma cube. Screw you guys. I like this biome because it has a lot of really cool blocks to use in builds. Besides that, that's it. In number 2, we got Crimson Forests. Now finally, we have a biome which actually has some usable resources like trees. This guy can generate beside any biome minus basalt deltas. This biome is heavily red and purple. Piglins are commonly found here hunting hoglins. This is the only other biome besides bastion remnants where hoglins are found. The floor here in lieu of netherrack is crimson nylium and netherwort blocks. Plants like crimson trees and fungus can be found in abundance with weeping vines. Structures found here include bastion remnants, ruin portals, and nether fortresses. Striders can be found too. I like this biome, but the use of red gets old quickly in the nether, so no offense, man, it's just not that special. In number 1, we got the warped forest. This biome is the rarest one in the nether. It makes up about 8% of the thing. It can generate beside any biome except for soul sand valleys. The floor is made mainly of warped nylium, and the biome itself consists of warped trees, fungi, and twisting vines. Striders can be found here as well as bastion remnants, nether fortresses, and ruin portals. This biome provides a rather refreshing wash of blue to this red hellscape, and I think it is quite attractive. Not like anything in the nether is, but never mind that. It's a nice opposite. We have now finished with the nether and are on to, drumroll please, biomes. The end scares me with its emptiness, but I guess that is exactly what it's supposed to do, right? I think it would be really cool if we got an end update which adds features like the ones in Minecraft Dungeons, but who am I? I'll stop yapping and get on with it. Number 5, we have End Barrens. They are exactly what they sound like. They got literally nothing except for Endstone and Enderman. I guess they can have gateways, but that's it. I have nothing else to say because there is nothing else I can describe. Pretty lame if I do say so, but whatever. Number 5. In number 4, we got Small End Islands. Again, exactly what it sounds like. They generate as a little buffer to the nothingness from mainlands. Nothing is found here besides Enderman. Anyway, I don't even know what to say here, so I will move on. Number 3, we have the End Midlands. Aha! Finally a biome that has something. Anything. The terrain here is mostly flat. Forest trees do not generate, but end cities do in fact generate, with and gateways. Enderman 2, I guess. In number 2, we got the End. The terrain here is mainly flat, but a little bit hilly, made entirely of endstone. Here there are many exclusive features like the Ender Dragon, the End Spikes made of obsidian, the exit portal and gateways, the platform, and the dragon egg. Besides that, though, that's it. A little bit cooler, but still kind of full of nothing. Unique features, give it a draw, though. And finally, number 1, we have End Highlands. This biome is also pretty flat, but it too has unique features. It is the only biome where chorus plants are found, end cities can be found here, and occasionally they include boats where you can find the elytra. So, pretty sick. I know we ended with a bang there, didn't we? Oh well. There really isn't much to be noted about the end, and I apologize. However, I hope you enjoyed it. If not, I sincerely apologize for my failures. Feel free to curse me out in the comments if you want. Anyways, if you are listening to me, it means you finished the video, so thank you for watching. See you later. Please come back if you want. I need friends. Bye.